circumstances. It ain't your past. It's the people you refuse to let go of. There are people in your life right now who are sitting at a table that you built, eating food that you cooked, and still complaining about the seasoning. You've been carrying folks who won't even walk beside you, and it's time to put them down. Here are the truths you need to understand. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of your future. Some people were only meant to be part of your story, not your destiny. Stop trying to force people into chapters they don't belong in. See, you've been treating your life like it's a public park where everybody gets access. But your life ain't public property. Your future is a private event, and you get to decide who gets an invitation. You've been handing out invitations to people who don't even respect the venue. They show up late, they complain about everything, and they leave early, but somehow you keep inviting them back. Think about it like this. If you were hosting a dinner party at your house, would you invite someone who came last time and disrespected your home? Would you invite someone who talked badly about your cooking to everyone else? Would you invite someone who stole from you? No, you wouldn't. But somehow, when it comes to your life, you keep giving people access who have already proven they don't deserve it. Your future is too important to be casual about who you allow in it. Every person you keep close either adds to your life or subtracts from it. There's no neutral. They're either helping you build or helping you break. And if you're honest with yourself, you already know who's who. You've known for a while now. The problem is you keep hoping they'll change. You keep thinking that maybe this time it'll be different. You keep believing that if you just love them enough, support them enough, sacrifice enough, they'll finally see your value. But that's not how it works. People don't change because you need them to. They change because they want to. You've got to understand something fundamental about human nature. People will only meet you at the level of their own awareness. If someone doesn't have the emotional intelligence to appreciate what you bring to their life, nothing you do will make them see it. You could turn water into wine, and they'd complain it's not cold enough. So stop casting pearls before swine. Stop giving your best to people who treat it like it's ordinary. Your time, your energy, your love, your support, these things are valuable. These things are sacred. And you need to start treating them that way. Not everyone earned the right to receive what you have to offer. The energy you waste trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed could be used to build the life you deserve. You can't love somebody into changing. They have to want it for themselves. You've been playing therapist to people who won't even do the homework. You sit there listening to the same problems, giving the same advice, watching them make the same mistakes, and somehow you think this time will be different. This time they'll listen. This time they'll change. But they never do they? Here's what you need to understand about fixing people. You can't do it. It doesn't matter how much you care. It doesn't matter how clearly you see their potential. It doesn't matter how many resources you provide or how many chances you give. If a person doesn't want to change, they won't. And you'll just exhaust yourself trying. Think about how much energy you've already spent. Think about all those late night conversations. Think about all the times you rearranged your schedule to be there for them. Think about all the advice you gave that went ignored. Think about all the opportunities you handed them that they wasted. Add it all up. Now imagine if you had invested that same energy into yourself. Where would you be right now if you had taken all that time, all that effort, all that emotional labor, and poured it into your own dreams? You'd probably be years ahead of where you are now. But instead, you've been stuck in the same place, trying to drag someone forward who keeps choosing to stay behind. And let's be real about something else. Half the time, these people don't even want your help. They want your attention. They want your sympathy. They want someone to validate their victim mentality. They don't want solutions. If they wanted solutions, they'd implement the advice you've already given them 100 times. You know what's wild? You've been more committed to their growth than they are. You've been more invested in their future than they are. You've been losing sleep over their problems while they're sleeping just fine. That's backwards. That's not love. That's codependency. It's time to redirect that energy. Take all that love, all that support, all that encouragement you've been giving away to people who don't appreciate it, and give it to yourself. Pour into your own growth. Invest in your own dreams. Fix your own life. Because the truth is, you can't save anyone. The only person you can save is you. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Stop writing their story for them. Stop making excuses for their behavior. They are exactly who they're showing you they are. This is where most people mess up. Someone treats you badly, and instead of accepting it, you start making excuses. Oh, they're just going through a tough time. Oh, they didn't mean it like that. Oh, they had a rough childhood. Oh, they're stressed from work. Stop it. Stop rewriting their narrative to make it easier for you to accept unacceptable behavior. People tell you who they are through their actions every single day. The guy who keeps standing you up is telling you that you're not a priority. The friend who only calls when they need something is telling you they're a user. The family member who constantly criticizes you is telling you they don't respect you. The person who keeps lying to you is telling you they don't value honesty. Listen to what they're saying, but instead of listening, you create a whole fictional character in your head. You focus on their potential instead of their pattern. You remember the one time they came through instead of the 99 times they didn't. You hold on to who they could be instead of dealing with who they actually are. Here's a hard truth. You're not confused about who they are. You're in denial. Deep down, you know exactly what kind of person they are. You've seen the evidence over and over again. But accepting it means you'd have to make a decision. And making that decision is scary. So you pretend you're still trying to figure them out. How many times does someone have to show you the same behavior before you accept it as a pattern? 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. At what point do you stop calling it a mistake and start calling it a choice? Because that's what it is. When someone repeatedly does something, that's not an accident. That's who they are. You've been giving people the benefit of the doubt who've already spent all their doubt currency. You've been offering grace to people who keep taking advantage of your mercy. You've been hoping for change in people who are perfectly comfortable with who they are. Stop writing a better story for them than the one they're living. Stop projecting your good heart onto their bad behavior. Stop assuming they think like you, care like you, or love like you. They don't, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move forward. Letting go doesn't mean you hate them. It means you love yourself more. It means you finally understand that your peace is worth more than their presence. A lot of people struggle with letting go because they think it makes them a bad person. They think it means they're giving up on someone. They think it means they're being selfish or cold or heartless. But that's not what it means at all. Letting go is one of the most mature, healthy, loving things you can do for yourself. You can care about someone from a distance. You can wish someone well without having them in your life. You can have love for someone without giving them access to you. These things are not mutually exclusive. You don't have to hate someone to remove them from your circle. In fact, sometimes letting someone go is the most loving thing you can do for both of you. Because when you keep enabling someone, when you keep rescuing someone, when you keep making excuses for someone, you're actually preventing them from facing the consequences of their actions. You're stopping them from hitting the bottom they might need to hit to finally change. But beyond what's good for them, you have to think about what's good for you. Your mental health matters. Your emotional well-being matters. Your peace of mind matters. And if someone consistently disrupts your peace, they have to go. It's that simple. You've spent so much of your life putting other people's comfort ahead of your own peace. You've twisted yourself into knots, trying to keep everyone else happy while you're falling apart inside. You've silenced your own needs to accommodate everyone else's wants. And where has that gotten you? exhausted, resentful, and stuck. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a necessity. You cannot function at your highest level when you're constantly stressed out by toxic people. You cannot build a great future when you're emotionally drained by people who take more than they give. You cannot become who you're meant to be when you're surrounded by people who remind you of who you used to be. So yes, choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your sanity. Choose your growth. That's not selfish. That's self-preservation. And there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself from people who keep hurting you. You were never meant to be a doormat for people to wipe their feet on. You are a bridge to somewhere better, but that doesn't mean everyone gets to cross. Some people need to swim. Let's talk about boundaries for a minute. Some of you don't have any. You've been so focused on being nice, being helpful, being available, that you've allowed people to treat you any kind of way. You've accepted behavior from others that you would never display yourself. You think being a good person means being available to everyone all the time. You think being kind means saying yes to every request. You think being loving means accepting all behavior, but that's not what those things mean. You can be good and have boundaries. You can be kind and say no. You can be loving and still protect yourself. Here's what happens when you don't have boundaries. People use you. They take advantage of your kindness. They abuse your generosity. They mistake your flexibility for weakness. And then they get mad when you finally stand up for yourself because you've trained them to expect unlimited access. You've been a bridge for people who had no other way forward, and that's beautiful. That's honorable, but a bridge has two purposes. It helps people cross over, and then they keep moving. A bridge is not a parking lot. People aren't supposed to stay on the bridge. They're supposed to use it to get somewhere better and keep going. But you've got people who've been camped out on your bridge for years. They're not trying to cross over. They're not trying to get to the other side. They're just sitting there blocking traffic, taking up space, benefiting from your support without any intention of moving forward. And the worst part is, while they're sitting on your bridge going nowhere, they're preventing other people from crossing. They're blocking your blessings. They're occupying space that could be used by people who actually deserve to be there. They're so comfortable with what you provide that they have no motivation to build anything for themselves. Some people need to swim. Some people need to find their own way across, not because you don't care about them, but because carrying them is drowning you. You cannot sacrifice your own life trying to save someone who won't even kick their legs. The moment you let go of what's weighing you down is the moment you'll be light enough to rise. You've been wondering why you can't fly, but you're carrying people who were meant to walk. You've got dreams. You've got goals. You've got a vision for your life. But every time you try to move forward, you feel this weight pulling you back. Every time you try to elevate, something keeps dragging you down. And if you're honest, that something is usually someone. It's the friend who makes fun of your goals. It's the family member who reminds you of every past failure. It's the partner who feels threatened by your growth. It's the colleague who sabotages your progress. It's the associate who only wants you to rise as high as they're comfortable with. These people are weights. They're anchors. And you can't fly with an anchor attached to you. That's not how physics works, and it's not how life works either. You've been trying to soar while carrying people who want to stay grounded, and it's tearing you apart. Think about a hot air balloon. What do they do when they want to rise higher? They release weight. They drop sandbags. They let go of what's holding them down. They don't feel guilty about it. They don't apologize for it. They don't try to carry the sandbags with them. They just release them because they understand that keeping the weight means staying low. Your life works the same way. You want to go higher, you've got to let go of the weight. You want to reach new levels, you've got to release what's keeping you at this level. You want to fly, you've got to stop carrying people who refuse to grow wings. And here's the thing, those people were never meant to fly with you anyway. They have their own journey. They have their own path. They have their own timeline. Just because you're ready to soar doesn't mean they are, and that's okay. But it's not okay to let their timeline delay yours. You've been holding yourself back out of loyalty to people who wouldn't do the same for you. You've been dimming your light out of fear that your shine will make them uncomfortable. You've been playing small so they won't feel bad about staying small. Stop it. Your greatness is not an insult to anyone. Your success is not a judgment on anyone. Your growth is about you, not them. Stop being loyal to people who wouldn't even attend your funeral. Real talk, some folks are just around for the benefits, not the relationship. Know the difference. This one's gonna hurt, but you need to hear it. There are people in your life right now who don't actually care about you. They care about what you do for them. They care about what you provide. They care about how you make them feel or what resources you have access to. But they don't care about you as a person. How do you know the difference? Pay attention to when they show up. Do they only call when they need something? Do they only come around when you're winning? Do they disappear when you're going through hard times? Do they ignore your calls but expect you to answer theirs? Do they take but never give? These are users, these are opportunists, these are parasites, and they don't deserve the title of friend or family or partner or anything else. They're acquaintances at best, and even that's being generous. They're people who saw an opportunity in you and decided to exploit it. The painful part is that you probably already know who these people are. You've felt it. You've noticed the patterns. You've seen how one-sided the relationship is. But you keep making excuses because admitting the truth means you'd have to cut them off, and you're not ready to do that yet. But ask yourself this. If you died tomorrow, would they cry because they lost you or because they lost what you did for them? Would they mourn your presence or your presence? Would they miss your heart or your help? Be honest. Real relationships are reciprocal. Real love is mutual. Real friendships go both ways. If you're always the one reaching out, always the one making plans, always the one showing up, always the one giving, then you're not in a relationship. You're in a one-person show, and it's time to close the curtain. Stop watering dead plants, hoping they'll come back to life. Stop investing in people who don't invest back.